Today we're going to declutter my foundations and powders. I think we're going to try and get through both in one video. This one might be a little bit longer. This, I have clearly outgrown. These are usually in my Alex drawers. I've outgrown this little container, which I don't remember where I got this. Probably TJ Maxx. But it's pretty great as long as you have a drawer that is tall enough to handle it, or if you just left this on your tabletop or vanity, whatever. And these I just got at the dollar store, and they connect to other ones of different sizes, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and dive right in. We'll start with the foundations. And if you just saw eyeshadows on my arms and hands, that was because I was just decluttering my palettes as well, so yeah. Okay, so the first thing I'm seeing, a lot of these are new to me. These are the L'Oreal Infallible ones, which are awesome. However, I've got two shades, and I don't need two shades. I bought this, and it's just too dark. It's 103. I just got it. I still have the receipt, so I might try and return that and just keep the one that is at least closer to my skin tone, which is 102 Shell Beige. So far, I really like these. I mean, these are like amazing. They're still expensive for drugstore though. They're like 12 bucks. But so I'm going to keep the lighter, and I'm going to get rid of / try and return the other one because I've only used it like twice. And usually they're pretty good about that. Okay, this is another new one that I have been trying out that I like, and it's the perfect shade for me. I got it in 112, and it's that Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation. And oh my gosh, I really like this too. This is a little bit lighter, which I just like. So definitely going to keep that. Okay, where did it go? This I haven't even tried yet. Well, by the time I'm putting this up, I might have tried it, but at this point in filming, I haven't tried. It's the BB Cream Matte version. Now, I've tried the Rimmel BB Cream, like, original, and for me, it did not work for my skin, and I couldn't find one light enough. This is in light, and I still feel like I've kind of swatched it, and it looks way too dark still for my skin tone, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm just so pale, so definitely keeping. Another new one from Rimmel, the 25-hour foundation, keeping because I've got to review it, and I'm excited to review it. Alright, this one, this is the Kevyn Aucoin, I don't even know, I got it in the shade SB02. That's all I know. I have no idea what product it is. I bought it when Haute Look had a Kevyn Aucoin sale, and it's interesting because you take off this part and you just like squeeze it out. And it might do it now. It squeezes out like oil and stuff. It's terrible. Let me see if it even works. Oh, this time it worked, of course. See, now it's working and it looks really nice. Man, I was going to get rid of it. I don't know. I just feel like it's either old or I don't know. Like, should I keep it? This is going to be a maybe. I'm going to start a maybe pile. This is going there, so maybe. It's probably a bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right. The next thing, Wet n Wild Coverall. I have 2 of these, and I got 2 of these because I fell in love with the formula, which this is what I had originally had, and it's almost gone. So then I went and I found out that they had a much lighter shade, so I bought that. So I think I might go ahead and get rid of the darker one because it's way too dark and keep the lighter one, and plus the lighter one's a lot fuller, so solved that problem. This is the L'Oreal Magic Lumi, and I don't know, like, I feel like it's just, I keep wanting to like it because the packaging is cute, there's a pump, and I love the idea of it, but every time I've ever used it, I've never liked the way my skin looks. And, you know, I've only used it down to there, so it's still, I mean, honestly pretty full. What shade is this in? This is in W12. I cannot find my right shade in this. This is a little too dark, but the other ones I've tried are just not right. Like, I just can't find my right shade in this. So I think I'm just going to have to pass it on, even though I'm sad because it's such pretty packaging. This is the L'Oreal True Match in W3. Way too dark. What I was thinking, I know not, because this is way too dark. I mean, you can just see, like, what? How did this happen? And I just recently got it. I don't know. Like, I think when I went there, I was like, well, when I first bought it, which was actually really, I think, closer to summer, I was like, well, I'm a little darker than I was, so I'll get one that's darker. That way, you know, I'll have a foundation for when I'm darker. But no, absolutely not. So I'm just gonna have to pass it on, which stinks because I literally have only used it like twice. I'm a moron. I don't know what's wrong with me. This is my Revlon Colorstay, which I love, but it's gotten kind of wonky. Do you guys see that? It's like gray, and I wear 150 buff, but it's, I don't know, it's almost gone, and I haven't been using it lately. I've been using my Whipped, so I think I'm just going to get rid of this now, and I eventually will repurchase it, because I always do, because I do love it. And what do I get? Do I get the normal to, yeah, I get the normal to dry, so it's not too drying on my skin. It adds a little bit of moisture. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because it's getting kind of old, and I'll eventually buy a new one, but probably not anytime soon because I've got a lot to work through. Bye-bye. This is the Jouer Luminizing Moisture Tint, and I bought this on Birchbox because there was like some sort of free gift with purchase, and it was like a full-size Jouer lip gloss or something. So Birchbox always has awesome deals when you're buying like something high-end, full-size from them, so that's where I always go before I buy something full price because they always have really good deals like that. So this, I watched some tutorials and people were like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. It looks good on its own. It just adds the right amount of luminizing, like it just has this luminous look to it. And then I put it on my skin and laughed out loud because I looked like a clown. Like it was the shiniest, craziest, I can't even describe it. So what I do with it is I mix it with other foundations, and that looks beautiful, but on its own, at least on me, it looks ridiculous. I wish it looked good, but it looks ridiculous. I have it in the shade Pearl, by the way. So I'm gonna keep that one if I didn't say that, but I do have to mix that one. This is the Revlon Age-Defying foundation. Love that it has a pump. I use this like non-stop for like months there in the fall. And I do like it. It's got an SPF of 15, so it's not super high SPF, but usually my moisturizer has an SPF anyway. So so I am going to keep this, and it's a nice shade on me. It's a little deeper, but not so deep. So honestly, it just kind of makes my face look alive, but it still kind of matches with my neck, so it's no biggie. So I'm going to keep that one. This one, I don't get what all the fuss is about with this one, because I mean, it's got really high coverage, and I love that it's got a pump, etc. I have it in the shade 805, but on its own, like, I don't know, it makes my skin look kind of blah, like, and it could just be my skin type, but it makes my skin look kind of dry, and it looks really made up, even when I do it with a beauty blender. So I'm going to keep it because this is awesome when I do mix it with that Jouer one, but other than that, like, I just can't use it on its own. I think it's just my skin type. It must be, because everyone else in the universe seems to love it, but, so I'm going to keep that one. So this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. This one, I don't know. I haven't decided how I feel about this one. This one I bought at Sephora when it was like 20% off or something. The shade works for me. I have the shade, well, I have no idea. Does it not say on here? Oh my gosh, oh, there it is, Fair Light Honey. That works for me. I thought it'd be a little deep, but once you blend it out, but I can't figure out how to apply this so it looks as well as it does on other people, because with a brush, I don't quite like it. I do not like this with a beauty blender. It's like something, it's just a thicker formula, so it just doesn't work. So I think I'm going to try it with my hands and see. This one, when it's wintertime, I can't wear it. It's too drying, but I haven't had it in the summer, so I'm going to keep it and see how my skin does with it in the summer, because that might be great for like if you're not wanting your makeup to sweat off. But right now, it's just not working, but I don't want to get rid of it yet, because I just haven't given it the full year treatment. So I'm going to keep it and try it out then. The e.l.f. BB cream, honestly, you guys, I've only tried this once. I should try this and review it. See, that's the problem. I have so many that I don't even like, I didn't even remember I had this. So I am going to try this out. I want to see if it's the right shade. I love that it's got a, oh! Did that get on the lens? That just squirted everywhere. It looks a little deep. It looks a little pink on my skin tone. But what I like is that it feels like it kind of mattifies, which for a BB cream is rare. Like, I feel like every BB cream I've tried has been so oily that it just looks terrible. So, sorry, I gotta wipe it off. So, what shade is this? I have it in Fair. Okay, that makes sense. So, it seems to be a good match. It just looks a little pink. But other than that, I need to try this out. So, I'm going to keep it and try it out. If I don't like it, I'll pass it on. Okay, so the next thing is my Estee Lauder Double Wear. This I got at a cosmetics company outlet, which you can find at like outlet malls. If you have one near you, you can look it up. And they sell Estee Lauder and MAC and Clinique and anything in the Estee Lauder family of brands for a pretty deep discount. I mean, it's still not like drugstore prices, but it's a lot more affordable. So that's when I bought this. I think this retails for, what is it, like around $40, and I got it for like $25. So it's a lot more affordable, not that it's cheap, but I wanted to try it because it's like everyone's holy grail, and I got it in the shade 1C1 Shell 15. And the shade seems to work pretty well. The pump I actually bought, it's a MAC pump, and you can just like cut the straw down to size, so because otherwise the straw goes a little bit longer. So you just cut it to size and it fits perfectly on the top, like absolutely perfectly. So that's what I did, and I think a subscriber, one of you guys had told me about that. So I don't use it very often though, and I don't really know why. So I need to try it out more. I feel like it's so high coverage that on a day-to-day basis, I just don't need that much coverage. So I need to try it out and see, and I need to use this more often when it's a special occasion, because it is like a really, I mean, a crazy nice foundation. This is my beloved Revlon Colorstay Whipped, the one that I go so back and forth from. Now, I hate that it's in a jar because it's so unsanitary, and it, you know, the active ingredient, I mean, it's just not good for the ingredients. It's just a bad packaging idea. But I love it. I just wish they would do it in a different packaging, that's all. But I do love it. Again, I wear 150 buff, and if you have not tried this, I feel like it's so good for all skin types because it's not super drying, but it's not really moisturizing either. It's just right in between like a satin, and I think it is gorgeous. So, continuing on, like I said, this is going to be a long video. Sorry, guys. This is the e.l.f. foundation, which is to be compared to the Bare Minerals original foundation. This Bare Minerals foundation is in light, and it is so flipping dark. Like, it literally looks like, I mean, it's insane. Here, let me just, it is so dark. Do you guys see how like orangish dark that is? It's not really showing up as well, but it's so dark on me, like comically dark. So I've got to get rid of it, and I'm so sad because, again, this isn't cheap, but if I'm not using it, there's no point in holding on to it for no reason. I mean, literally, I can't use it. Maybe in the summertime, but then I'm wanting to use other things, so I'm just going to get rid of it, and I'm really sad too, but it's just time. The e.l.f. foundation, however, I really like, and this is in the shade Porcelain. I had gotten this in light, and it was, way too dark. So for me, I realized Porcelain is the way to go, and I gave the light one to, I think, my mom. So love it, really good, really comparable to the Bare Minerals. I really feel like it's pretty close. So definitely recommend, and I love that shade Porcelain. This is the e.l.f. HD powder in yellow. This is the corrective yellow one, and I don't usually use it in this. I usually depot it in a smaller thing because I use it to set my under eye. But I don't use this all over my face, that's for sure. But I keep this so I can refill the smaller one. Again, this is great if you've been wanting to get the Ben Nye banana powder. This is very, very similar. I don't think the Ben Nye one's expensive though. I haven't looked into it. So I don't know that there's really that big of a price difference anyway, but this is great. If you're placing an e.l.f. haul, I think you would like this. As I think more about it, I think I am just going to get rid of this Kevyn Aucoin one. I'm looking at it, and every time I've made myself use this, I haven't loved it. So even though it's a crazy expensive, nice brand, again, I shouldn't keep it until it goes bad for no reason. And plus, it's just kind of wonky. So I'm just going to pass it on. Moving on to powders. This is my NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat powder foundation. It's a little dark for me, but it kind of looks nice when I'm trying to just bronze up my skin without actually using a bronzer. It's a lot more natural of a bronzer, and it's in the shade Nude. I love this powder foundation. It is amazing, but I don't really use it ever anymore, and plus it's virtually gone, so I'm just going to pass it on now. It's just taking up space, and I'm never using it. This is the Laura Geller, what is it? The Balance and Brighten Foundation in Fair. And I got it on Haute Look. And it's a nice powder foundation, but I never find myself using it because I just don't really use powder foundation. But when you're trying to brighten up like the areas you'd want to highlight without actually using a highlight, this is really nice. So I do use it for that purpose, so I'm going to hold on to it for now. This Palladio rice paper, this is so cool. This was like one of the first things. Palladio was, no, let me rephrase. Palladio was the first company to ever send me makeup just for free, just to try. And so I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for them. And I've gotten rid of, since then, a lot of the products just because I wasn't using them or I didn't like them. But some of them I did keep, and this is one that I really like, their rice paper. And it's really one that they're well known for. And what I like about it, they're oil blotting sheets, but they have some of their rice powder infused in them, so it kind of mattifies and adds powder at the same time. So I really like it. It's a very inexpensive brand. I can find it at Ulta, also of course online. This is, oh yes, definitely keeping this. This is the, what is it? Mineralized Skin Finish and Natural. I use it all the time. I mean, all the time. It's my go-to powder right now. So again, got it for a lot cheaper at a CCO. Alright, so these puppies, I like, out of my Rimmel Stay Matte, you guys know this is like one of my holy grail favorite powders of all time. I've got the Transparent and then Sandstorm. Sandstorm would be way too dark for me, but again, it just kind of naturally bronzes up my face in a really nice way, so I end up using this all the time to set my foundation. And the Transparent I don't use very often, but they're not gone yet and they will be soon, so I feel like I should just use them up and call it a day because I use these all the time. This is a newer one of my NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat powder foundations, and it's in a lighter shade to match my skin more, so I'm going to keep that. e.l.f., oh yes, the e.l.f. Tone Correcting Powder. This is one of those, like, you mix the shades together and it supposedly will be a really good look. I don't know, like it's going to correct your tones. It is a very, very white powder that for me works. I don't know if it would work for everyone. It kind of works as a matte highlight as well, I think. So I'm going to keep it because you guys know I do e.l.f. reviews all the time because I want to be able to tell you about products like these that are pretty good. So I'm going to hold on to that. This, however, is the Palladio Dual Wet and Dry Rice Powder Foundation. I haven't used this in a very long time. It's, I don't know, it's good, but I think it's just getting old, and you know, there's this weird sponge you can use that I wouldn't dare use now. So Palladio-wise, I'm not going to keep this. I'm just going to keep those rice paper sheets. So here's the overview. These are what I'm keeping, and this is what I'm getting rid of. Now, obviously with foundations, I know they're going to go bad eventually, but some of them I'm keeping because they're brand new and I'm going to review. So keeping in mind that this is one of my jobs and that I do have a beauty channel, I do want to keep a decent selection of some drugstore and some high-end, especially if they're ones that I like. I'm not going to keep them if I don't, which is evidenced by the fact that I am getting rid of some more expensive ones like that Kevyn Aucoin over there, and the Bare Minerals ones, but I'm also getting rid of some of the drugstore ones that either are completely my wrong shade or they've gone bad, or they're just not being used. So I'm pretty proud of how much I got rid of. I certainly got rid of a lot more in some of my other videos that I'm even more proud of, but I think I did an okay job. I think that the next time I do a declutter of these particular products, maybe next year, or towards the end of this year, I'm probably going to revisit a few of these, like that Tarte one, and see if I've used it and if I like it anymore, and things like that. But other than that, all of the rest of these that I'm keeping are ones that I use. So if you are interested in seeing my other decluttering videos, there are a ton of them. I'll link the playlist below. Other than that, please like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye.